Hello everyone, and welcome back to Meandering in the Meadow, our relaxing little question and answer series, where I have the opportunity to answer some of your guys' questions that you have left in the comments of previous videos, while we even get the opportunity to meander together in Meadow, the beautiful, beautiful Meadow, which is actually a game where you guys can come and run along beside me whilst I do these recordings as adorable badgers and pheasants and I almost said beavers. Now beavers would be a really cool thing to add in a meadow if you ask me. And little bunnies, and it's just fantastic. And I love running with you guys, and such a big crowd has come out today too. I'm so tickled. And we're led by a little panda badger. Look at how cute he is. Look at how cute he is. So we're going to follow the panda badger and hopefully find some wonderful rune stones to crack open today, while we also crack open some of your guys' questions and try to answer some of your awesome questions left in the comments of previous videos. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some of them with an easy peasy one, beginning with Bonnie Woo's question of, why is your name Seri? And I felt like that was a really good one to start with, because I could have sworn that a lot of you guys knew why my name is Seri, but apparently that is not common knowledge for those of you who may be new to our series. So, do you get it? Our series? But actually, my name is Seri online. It is not Seri in real life, but it's very close to my real life name. But my online name is Seri because of the pun seriously with 3 eyes, which is my username pretty much everywhere. You're going to find me as Seriously on Twitter and Instagram and all of that goodness. But I was so serious when I was a young woman that when I made the name Seriously, it was actually a play on how I took everything completely serious. And who could crack a smile, and who could laugh, and who could giggle when so much goes wrong in the world. And yeah, you can tell I'm kind of making a playful voice about it, but I was serious, haha, when I made the name. So the name Seriously actually comes from the fact that at the time when I first took on the mantle of being serious, I was in a place where the world was really difficult to laugh at, and I felt like everything was always at max level tension and always so stressful. And now I've kind of taken the name Seri and I've made a hilarious pun of my own out of it, because no longer are things stressful, no longer are things miserable, and now instead the name Seriously has come to represent being Seri, has come to represent something entirely different, has come to represent a woman who people tell me has guinea pig giggles and makes people smile and feel at ease. And I think that's kind of beautiful, because it's almost like a redemption arc for a username, which basically means I started out like, I am so serious and that is the way I'm going to be forever. And now we've actually ended up becoming somebody who really is just happy-go-lucky, giggly, who can look at the worst of the world and also try to look past it at the best, the hidden joy and goodness, and tries to really live by what she sees there too. So I like it. That's why my name is Seri, though, because once upon a time I was very serious, and in some ways, many ways, I still am. And I just have kind of taken that name and transformed it over time by just being myself. And now I'm just a giggly goofball. So who knows what kind of username I would have created now. Probably something a lot sillier, or perhaps a lot more serious here. No, it's pushing the puns too hard, Seri. But alright, let's go to another really awesome, easy question. What is your favorite breed of dog? Asked Chocolate Chip Cookie Cat. And I thought that was really fun, because that answer too has also changed over time. When I was younger, I would have said Labrador, because my uncle bred Labradors and I was just very familiar with them. I think they're exceptionally intelligent and very, very sweet-natured, extremely loyal, really great family dogs, Labradors are. But I feel like also, having lived with dozens of them over the years, it feels like they can be a little bit stubborn to train sometimes. I've had the opportunity to work with like purebred Great Danes who were were bred to do really specific jobs and work like that. And that's when I realized that maybe my uncle's Labradors were a little bit simpler between the ears than I was going to give credit for. So I like German Shepherds, but they were definitely too high drive for me in the end. And my family also had Great Danes, and I still think Great Danes are probably one of my favorite breeds of all time, because they do have very, very, oh, I'm sorry, little bunny. They do have very, very good personalities if you have worked well with the Great Dane. And they're just gigantic lap puppies. They just want to curl up. Oh, look at the bunny. Oh, that was so cute watching them jump. But the Great Danes just want to curl up in your lap. They just want to be able to, and yes, I mean a Great Dane wants to curl up in your lap. You wouldn't think it, but they do. They just want to be able to crawl into your lap and sit on the couch, and half the dog is going to be hanging out in front of you. But that's all Great Danes want to do, is be lap puppies. And they're just they can be very good natured, a little bit nervous. Pretty much almost every Great Dane I've met tends to be a little bit more on the nervous side, but I love them too. So I do like Great Danes, but though if I could say there is one downside about Danes, or there's a few practical downsides to owning Danes, but definitely one of the biggest struggles with Danes is the fact that they don't live very long. And that's really hard. That's really, really hard. Because it can be very difficult. Bye, pheasant, bye-bye. But it can be very difficult when your Great Dane only lives, it should be about 7, 8. Zoe made it all the way to almost 9, which was pretty amazing. And so that's the hard part of Great Danes, is it just feels like they mature into these amazing, wonderful adult dogs, and then they're gone before you really have time to be around with them for a long time. And then if I had any more favorite breed of dogs, it would probably be the Golden Retriever, because they're so intelligent, they're loyal, they're good family dogs, and they're everywhere here. We live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I swear everyone has a Golden Retriever. If I think off the top of my head of the dogs in my neighborhood that I see, every single one of them is a Golden Retriever except for one pair of Corgis and one Pit Bull and one Yorkie. But all of the other dogs in my neighborhood are Golden Retrievers. And they're just super duper popular around Ann Arbor for some reason. And I do think that they are beautiful, intelligent, loyal dogs. And I really like how good they are with families. I think that they're probably another breed that needs a lot of hands-on, very excellent training when they're wee little puppies. But they're another breed that I really, really enjoy and I really love. And also I have a weakness, a deep, unquestioning, unknown where the heck it came from weakness for long-haired dachshunds. I don't know why. I just love, oh yes, I need this. This is finally one of the pattern pieces. Yay! Another piece for my patterns. I needed that. But I just love long-haired dachshunds. I have no idea why. I just think that they are beautiful and cute, and there's just something about them, especially the ones that are spotted long-haired dachshunds that have that slightly coy look when they glance over their shoulder at you, are like my ultimate weakness. I just instant KO on the cute factor for sure. So those are my favorite breeds of dog. And then let's see, we have, and Chocolate Chip Cookie Cat also asked another question. How many places have you traveled to and where? And I think this is a really interesting question because I wouldn't think that I am a really experienced traveler. I wouldn't say that I particularly go out of my way to have the travel bug. I actually am very much a homebody. I very rarely even leave my home during the week. I'm usually adventuring in the meadow like this, or going out into the forest, in the parks that are right in my neighborhood, but I don't really go out much. So that kind of, oh, there's another pattern piece. Yes. So that kind of has given me the impression that I'm a little bit homebound and I don't really travel a lot. And then I look at all the pictures of the places that I have been to just this year. And we're talking about Taiwan. We're talking about Hawaii. We're talking about, oh gosh, like going up to the Great Lakes of Michigan. Yeah, I have actually traveled a lot more than I have given myself credit for, especially in the last couple of years, thanks to the help that you guys have given me through our wonderfully successful YouTube channel. I have really been able to try to do more traveling so that I can go out and seek new beautiful places in the world to discover and learn about and learn from and experience joy of being there. And is this an acorn tree? Oh my gosh, yes, that's so exciting. Can I climb you, tree? Goodness, I don't think I can. That's too bad. I would have loved to climb that tree so I could eat the acorns. Oh my gosh. But I have actually extensively traveled, and when I was actually speaking with one of my friends from high school recently, I realized that he had never actually even left the city that he was born in, the city we had gone to high school together in, like never. And it actually took me totally aback. I was really shocked because he was very adamant that the furthest he had ever been away from his hometown is 30 minutes. And it totally took me aback. And I definitely have traveled a lot more than that. I have been to Utah. I have a lot of family out in Utah. I was born in California. I was raised in Texas and Missouri. I moved and ended up becoming Seri the YouTuber when I moved from Missouri to follow my job, which was a live-in nanny at the time, to North Carolina. And that is how I met Chips. And that is how I had the opportunity to become a YouTuber. And like, I've traveled a lot more than I thought. I've been to Bald Head Island in North Carolina, which was an amazing experience that I actually vlogged and shared with you guys on the vlog channel. That was fantastic. I have been definitely up to mountains. I have ridden a horse on a mountain in Utah that was covered in daffodils, no less. Beautiful daffodil blossoms. When I was 10, my mom went there for work and she took me with her, and we rode a horse together. Like, not the same horse, but we went horseback riding together, and it was pretty darn amazing. So I have indeed traveled a lot more than I tend to give myself credit for. Just in this last year, though, I have traveled multiple times back and forth from Michigan to North Carolina to visit family. I have traveled multiple times between Missouri and Michigan to visit family. Kansas City and Columbia in Missouri are where I'm normally at, or Raleigh, Cary, and Durham in North Carolina. When we go there, I used to live in Apex. Like, listen to me rattling off these names like some sort of little map or something. And yeah, I've traveled a lot more than I realized, especially when compared to a lot of people out there who may not even leave their hometown. And I honestly think it has made me a better person as a result, you guys. Not to say that people who don't travel are not good people. That is not what I am saying whatsoever, so don't take it like that. But I know personally, I have grown and developed and changed so much because I went to new places and I experienced things that I would have never been able to experience if I had stayed in one place. And sometimes that is because everything went terribly wrong. Sometimes that is because my traveling ended up taking me somewhere I definitely did not want to be. And sometimes it has shown me places like Pele, when we went to the big island in Hawaii in February, so Chips and I could go to Hawaii, so I could share the experience with my mom while she's still around, be able to relate it to her. And I was just looking at pictures of that volcano today, and tears were in my eyes again because it was such a powerful experience. Traveling and really putting myself through the trials of traveling, the practicalities, the expenses, the planning around traveling, it has so much been worth it because of being able to look back on the experiences. Now we're a muddy little bunny. But being able to look back on the experiences and remember moments of awe, moments of realizing even when everything went completely wrong, Chips and I still had each other's back. There were a lot of those moments. And also moments of deep gratitude for how good my life is in a lot of ways that I take for granted. Like the fact that when we went to Taiwan this summer, Chips and I had to go down to the conveni and we had to buy gigantic jugs of water and then walk up 6 to 7 flights of stairs with heavy gallons of water so that we would have safe, fresh drinking water, because the pipe system just isn't quite up to snuff with being safe drinking water in Taiwan where we were at. In some places it is, but in other places it's not. And it completely took me aback. So it definitely made me so grateful when we got home that I can literally, yay, only the best will do achievement unlocked. How exciting. Gosh, I love flowers. That's such a pretty flower too. But yeah, so that's another, just travel has definitely changed me. It has definitely made me a better person in my opinion. I want to find the cave system up here if we can. And it has given me moments of awe. I would have never experienced natural awe. Like when Chips and I walked up the dune the first time and we saw the expanse of the Michigan Great Lakes in front of us, Lake Michigan in front of us. It was so blue. I know that sounds so inadequate. It was blue. Well, Siri, what other color did you expect a lake to be? But no, guys, Lake Michigan was beautifully blue. It took your breath away, shade of blue. And I look at those pictures and I'm just, that feeling of awe returns to me. So there's times when traveling reminds me of the wonderful benefits I have in my daily life that I could otherwise take for granted. There's time when traveling goes completely wrong and reminds me how wonderful being home is. There's times when I travel and I get to experience things like volcanoes, watching the ocean churn in front of me in the middle of a storm. I get to experience things like seeing a unique cave system with Chips. I get to turn and see my best friend experiencing something new by my side too. And that's just fantastic. So I've traveled a lot, and I have to say I don't regret a moment of it, even if it's been expensive or confusing or scary. And as a little introvert who thought she was going to die of terror going through security like the first or second time at the airport, and now I'm so used to it. I'm like, yeah, you're probably gonna have to pat my back because of my hair. I'm here for that. Like, I have a whole routine now that I've done it so often of just standing in front of the TSA agents and being like, yes, I know. Thank you. Yes, I know it needs to be a female TSA agent. Yes, I know you're going to have to touch the back of my back and you might have to touch my rump. But they do, because my hair is so long that it sets off the scanners every time. And we found a mysterious fox in the cave. How interesting is that? But yeah, I have traveled a lot, and I've actually taken you guys with me on some of the biggest adventures. Honestly, it's been you guys and your help and your dedication to our community and helping me grow our community that has even made it possible for Chips and I to travel, and we're planning on continuing to travel. And I am upgrading my camera gear all of the time, explicitly with the purpose of being able to share those places that you may not be able to travel to, but I will take you to, because I want you guys to experience as much joy and beauty in the natural world as possible. And I know that for a lot of reasons, not all of us can get out there to find it. So I've kind of made it my heart goal to go out there and find it for you guys. And I want to get better at that. Not only our pixelated digital adventures, but I want to get better at being able to find, oh my goodness, at being able to find the real life ones, at being able to take you guys where you may not be able to go on your own, and share that sense of joy and wonder and awe and appreciation for home and appreciation for somewhere that you may only see once in your lifetime all together. This is so beautiful. Yeah, I wanted to come here talking about this question because I just hope you guys can. If you guys travel, if you guys don't travel, let me know. If you're like my friend, I think there's a valid reason to always stay in one place and to want to stay pretty much like in your home. But I would definitely encourage those of you who feel that it might be the right choice for you and it might be something that you can do one way or another. And I understand, like my mom, can't travel anymore, and if she does, it's very, very difficult to come up with a way. Like, they're trying to get her to go to Florida right now for her birthday at the end of October, her Halloween birthday, and it would be her second vacation away from home in over 31 years. So 31 years my mom has not gone on a vacation except once with me to the not Sanibel Island, but it was to Ocracoke Island. She went on a vacation with myself and my dad after the YouTube channel got started, so that you guys gave me that opportunity just once in 30 years. So that was about, let's see, that was 29 years. So that was her first vacation in 29 years. And now they're trying to set it up so that she can go on a vacation to Florida for her second vacation. So her second vacation in 31 years. And it's hard because she now has medical issues, and so she can't easily travel. They're actually having to, they did some funding. Her Shell friends, her friends who are in the Shell group, did some secret funding behind all of our back, and they raised enough money to be able to get her. Did I come this way already? I don't think I did. Maybe. No, I think we came down from up there. Who knows anymore? We'll figure it out. Maybe I should keep going down. Okay, I'm going to try to keep going down. But my mom's Shell group started doing some secret, like, fundraising behind everybody's back to surprise my mom. And they have been able to hire a trailer that has the medical gear for her to travel. Because she's pretty much bedbound, and she has to be on her oxygen tank 24/7 right now. And she needs constant medical care, which is what I try to help them out with. That's one of the big things I try to do with my opportunity here on our adventures. And basically, I don't want to make this too sad, but like, it's hard for her to travel. And I think that they might be able to make it work. It depends on if her doctors will give her approval, and she has to have something set up for doctors already having her medical information. The whole drive down to Florida, they have to contact various hospitals just on the off chance that she might have something happen, and just have her data available. Like, that's how hard it would be for her to travel, and she still wants to do it because she wants to see the ocean again. And I just really feel there's something valid to that. I really feel if you have the opportunity, even if it's terribly hard, then try to travel if you can, because you don't know what your heart is really going to find when you get to the other side. You know what I mean? You don't really know what kind of benefit it might offer you. I would have sworn up and down and in all sorts of directions that traveling was too much for me when I first started. I would have sworn I was too shy, too poor, too fat. Any excuse in the book I could have come up with, I would have said, nope. There's lots of reasons I can't do it. But and here I am, having gone halfway across the world to Taiwan, getting my passport, which was an adventure in itself for the first time. I have like learned how to look up Airbnbs, which again would have like made me twist myself into pretzels of anxiety before. I have discovered a lot about myself, not only through the places that I ended up going, but also through the work that took to get there. So I really encourage traveling around the world if you can. And I understand 1000% if you can't for so many other reasons. And I really hope that one of the many things I can try to offer you guys as time goes on is the opportunity to join me in my own travels, because you can ask Chips. Everywhere I go and everything I do, I am always taking pictures. I am always looking around and looking for something to be able to share with you guys. I'm always asking him, do you think the kids would love this? Oh, darling, look at that animal. I have to get some video of it to share with everyone, because I want to share the joy of traveling with you too. I want to share the beauty of this world that we all share with you guys too. So yeah. All right, chocolate chip cookie cat. That went to places I didn't expect. And I apologize if that really kind of got sort of all over the place, guys. Just, I really feel it's important. And I always try to use these videos to talk to a little old shy Seri, who would have twisted herself into pretzels about the idea of traveling and would have given herself every excuse in the book of why she couldn't go. And I want her to know, if she's listening, that it is 100% worth it, that Even the shyest among us can probably do it. Oh my goodness, and look at this beautiful little frozen lake system back here. I love how Meadow has all of these hidden secrets. And that you don't know what you'll expect. Sometimes I have found people who travel with a very strict expectation of what they want out of it, and then they become very disappointed when they don't get what they wanted, or they become very upset if things didn't turn out the way that they hoped or thought they would. They become very concerned that like, oh, it was just a waste of my money or a waste of time. But even if you learn that something isn't for you, I personally think that that's a good thing, that you learned something really important from that event, if you ask me. Also, I don't think I've ever found these snowy caves, and they're beautiful. So here I am traveling digitally, and I've discovered something new and amazing. So yeah, there's my little spiel on it. And there's my spiel, shy Seri of the past, if you're listening, to push yourself not in the way that everybody tells you, but just you know how to do it. You know what needs done. And you know if it's the right thing and the right time for you. So I hope you'll take the plunge when it is. All right, and so moving on from that kind of more serious note, no pun intended, or maybe there was one, we'll go into Samantha Rose's question of, have you ever gone to a reef? And if so, what kinds of fish did you see? And oh my goodness, that ties perfectly into the traveling question. I have indeed gone to a reef. My very first time going to a reef was when we went to Hawaii last February. That, like I mentioned earlier, Chips and I dropped everything and went to Hawaii during his spring break last February. Not because we felt like kicking it back with, non-alcoholic Mai Tais or anything like that, but because my mom had a near fatal heart attack, 2 of them back to back. As I was driving to her house, actually, we got the call on the last hour of the drive after a whole day of traveling that she was in the hospital. As I was on my way there for my uncle's funeral, he had passed away 2 days before, and the strain was too much for my mom's health, and she had a near fatal heart attack, and then she had another one. On my way, like as I'm driving there, and the surreal feeling of like, are we going to have 2 funerals? Like hits you. So Chips and I talked about it, and if there was anything, I was trying to think, okay, mom made it this time, but the doctors are seriously side-eyeing us about her making it much longer. Is there anything I can do that I really feel is important for my relationship between me and my mother? And the thing is, my mom fell in deep love with Hawaii when she went to Hawaii for college. And she always was telling me how happy she was that I was part Hawaiian. She was always telling me how she was so glad that she went to Hawaii, how a part of her heart was deeply left in Hawaii. And I always felt like I never really truly knew everything. I mean, clearly not everything about my mother, but there was some essential core part of her personality that I just never understood, because she had this Hawaii obsession, and I wanted to know that woman. I wanted to know that person who loved Hawaii so much that my entire life she talked about it, so much that she married a man who was part Hawaiian, so much that she just would go on and on and on my entire life about how a huge part of her heart was forever lost to the islands, and she would give everything to be able to go back. So Chips and I went to Hawaii that February, less than a month later, so that I could experience the islands, which I am part Hawaiian, so I could experience some of my heritage, and so I could experience the land my mom fell in love with, and that she went on and on about all the time, so I could know a little bit more about her while she was still around, to be able to share that story with, to be able to share the fact I went with, to be able to go, Mom, hey, I went to Hawaii. Yay, and I have unlocked a new skin. Good. Look at me. I'm a little skunk bunny now. That is so cute. Oh, look, and the frog unlocked a new skin too. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy. But yeah, that's why I went to Hawaii, and that got a little bit dark again too. I apologize. It's my mom's birthday this month, so I'm thinking about her a lot. But yeah, we went to Hawaii. And I went snorkeling for the very first time in my life at a whole bunch of the little reefs that were at the Big Island. And we had a fantastic time. I really loved it. Chips really loved it. We didn't know that we liked snorkeling. I had never been before, and he hadn't been since he was a little kid. So we snorkeled as much as we possibly could, and we absolutely adored it. And I saw a lot of fish, mostly a lot of the yellow tang. There were tons and tons and tons and tons of tang where we were swimming. But I also saw the Hawaiian state fish, which has an extremely long name that I cannot pronounce off the top of my head. We saw eels, we saw, he saw an octopus actually, we saw sea turtles, and we fell in love with snorkeling. And I actually have some GoPro footage that I got because I wanted to share the snorkeling with my mom, and that I got because I wanted to share it with you guys too, that I still need to edit and put together so that you guys can see when I realized I was swimming right next to a sea turtle for the first time, which was pretty amazing. I swam with a sea turtle, and oh, look at everybody helping each other get up here. And I swam with fish, and I had a fantastic time, and I would definitely do it all over again. And I hope I can, and I hope I can share it with you guys, because I think it's a really amazing experience to be able to travel, and I want to share the beauty of the natural world with you. So I think I've rambled enough. I apologize if I got kind of, whoa, way deep in the water there by talking about my mom, but I think it's important to realize that people have a lot of motives for why they may take on the trials of travel, and that it can be really beautiful things for a lot of reasons. But all right, I'm clearly very emotional, so I'm gonna take my little emotional bunny self off, and I will see you guys next time when we will hopefully have a chance to meander in the meadow again together. You guys can find out when I am going to be recording in Meadow by checking my Twitter. I will try to come up with a more regular time when you could meet me in the meadow for when we dive into this world and I answer some of your guys' questions that you leave in the comment section down below next time. So alright guys, I hope that wasn't too serious, or maybe it was just serious enough for those of you who might need the push to try out traveling, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye!